With a spark and a flash, I ignite! Ampamine here, coming at you with some more Road to CRIMEFEST madness. It's actually been a pretty good day in terms of Payday 2. Overkill added 4 new challenges this morning, assuming that you're in the same rough time zone as I am. If you're not, I apologize. It would not have been this morning. It could have been my yesterday, or your tomorrow, or time zones. But early this morning, for me, Overkill Software added 4 new challenges to the Road to CRIMEFEST, and before that, I purposely delayed putting this video up because, well, not putting it up, but actually recording anything for this video, because I knew that today was one of the days they were going to put up challenges, but I was ready to make things before they had put up the challenge, but I wanted to wait, just because I knew that I would be putting up another video about this anyway. I just wanted to keep it all nicely encapsulated. Anyhow, before they added the new challenges, we were actually sitting as a community at 9 out of 12 heists completed, so we're doing pretty well in terms of completion as they come out. And as far as I understand, the challenges are going to stick around until CRIMEFEST itself is done, not just the Road to CRIMEFEST. So we're still going to be able to complete challenges after the actual Road to CRIMEFEST is over and true CRIMEFEST begins proper. Which, if we continue completing challenges at the rate that we have been, we're going to get everything. That is, of course, supposing that they don't add anything in that's more difficult than the challenges that they've added. So far, we haven't really had much in terms of difficulty. You know, some were rougher than others, took longer than others, but there still haven't been any that, that people could look at and say, like, oh, maybe we're not going to complete that. So, yeah, we're doing pretty well. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, for the actual updates. New challenges. Chains' new challenge is to complete 50,000 heists with a vault. Which, this one, that's not going to last very long. It's still Sunday. Again, for my time zone, it's still early morning on Sunday. Well, late morning on Sunday, I should say. I should actually take a look at the clock once in a while, maybe, but that would take too much effort. But yeah, late morning on a Sunday for me, so I imagine that, at least in the US, there are going to be quite a few heisters online today, taking some of these challenges out pretty quickly. That one in particular, because there are quite a few heists with a vault in them. Apart from just the basic bank hits, the bank heist, cash deposit, and gold, there's the Go Bank, there's Hoxton's Revenge, Firestarter, there's one more that I was thinking of and it completely left me, but the transport train heist, that has 3 vaults, I suppose, if you want to be technical. At least 3 vaults, potentially more. So yeah, that's 50,000 is not a large number. That's something that I don't really see lasting much longer than a day or two. Given that 50,000 is not that much, you can complete one of the bank heists in less than 10 minutes if you stealth it and have somebody who's got an upgrade for the thermal drill, the time upgrade in the technician tree. So yeah, that one's not going to last long. Clover's new challenge is complete framing frame 30,000 times. Also one that I doubt is going to last long at all, because one heist 30,000 times is pretty easy. And now, I will admit that framing frame tends to be pretty rough, just because it's got such large bonuses for stealth, and there are people like me in the world who are awful, horrible, terrible at stealth. But, I can see people just saying screw it and running it loud, so that'll actually be kind of nice to see if there will be any framing frame games where people are going loud, because I like loud. I like loud a lot because that's what I'm good at. I hate stealth just because I'm so awful, horrible. terrible. Awful horrible at it. It's so easy to screw up, and I tend to be the one who screws it up for everybody, so it's like, oh, great, I just made 3 other people that much more frustrated. But enough about that. On to the new challenge for Dallas. This one is a very, very interesting one, and I kind of like this, actually. This one is probably, I would say probably going to last until the next weekend rolls around, because Dallas's new challenge is 30,000 players being online and logged into CrimeNet at the same time. Now, I imagine that we're probably going to need to wait until the next Saturday comes, because it's when a lot of people have free time. Many people log on to, play the video game of their choice at prime time on Saturday, so that's probably someone that's going to need to, well, not need to, but is probably going to sit on the back burner until, everybody's got roughly the same amount of free time. So, still, it's a really interesting one, because I haven't looked at the numbers, because CrimeNet tells you how many people are online at the same time, so I should probably start looking at that more often, but, I don't know. That's one that's... This is one where I'm also sort of conflicted on, because everybody wants to hear my opinion. But this is one I'm sort of conflicted on, because there's nothing you can really do personally to add to that in the absence of other people. If that probably doesn't make much sense. So, for example, if a challenge was to kill 2 million cloakers, you can just by yourself just be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna kill a bajillion cloakers by myself, which you can do, technically. If you really wanted to, you could kill 2 million cloakers by yourself. It would take for freaking ever to do, legitimately at least, but you could theoretically do it. However, you can only add yourself when it comes to the maximum, the amount of players online you only have, assuming, that you only have your one Steam account, and you can't log on other people. So that's not super excited about that one, but it's not egregious. 30,000 isn't asking too much. I think that there are far more than that on your average Saturday, so shouldn't be awful. Unlike me at Stealth in Payday 2. Anyway, Houston's new challenge is to kill 4 million tasers. This is one that I think that many people, myself included, are going to take great relish in completing, because I doubt I am alone in saying that tasers are annoying. They make you twitch, they make you waste ammo, and sometimes they perform magical across-the-map tases that don't make any sense, and down you for no reason. You can't even defend yourself. So, yeah, I have no compunctions against shooting the crap out of them. Alright, moving right along. I'm just kind of going down my notes here. I have to make notes, or otherwise I'll forget everything, and this will be the worst news post ever. As they are now, they only just suck. I don't want them to be the worst thing ever, however. But, newly completed challenges. Dallas's complete the Meltdown heist 100,000 times has been reached, and the reward for that challenge is a pair of booster boots with a description of reach new heights. So this one, I'm eager to see exactly what they're going to do with this, because my speculation senses kind of go in a couple of different directions. They might have the addition of some sort of like mantling or scaling mechanic, so that players are able to like get up to higher areas quickly and organically. It also might be a heist based around heights of some kind, like you're climbing up or down cliffs or the side of a building, perhaps. And it also might mean that they're going to try and add in more vantage points for player snipers in the map, because only some maps actually have a vantage point, whether built in or unlocked. I believe Rats Day 1 does, day 1 and day 3 of Rats, I believe. The bank does, and I can't immediately think of any others that have a vantage point available for unlocking, so they might be trying to add more of those to maps so that player snipers can have more opportunities, perhaps. Honestly, as always, I don't actually know, but it's going to be great to see where that one goes. And the second of Dallas's challenges has been completed. Players have collectively earned over $3 trillion. Yeah, 3 trillion. That's quite a few zeros in the bank account, honestly. Not that I think anybody is really complaining about that. The reward for that one is another vintage meme, and the description is Top Keck, which is apparently well, I can't be sure, but assuming from the use of Keck, they've played World of Warcraft, which is pretty cool. I would totally play World of Warcraft with Almir. Pretty much anybody from Overkill, honestly. But instead of the troll face, this time it's the Me Gusta face. So my speculation for that one is the same as the last vintage meme. This new mask, maybe? That's, again, the easiest, most obvious route for that. Otherwise, I have no idea what they'll actually do with it. And Houston had one of his challenges completed. The Help Hawks break into the FBI and steal the server 120,000 times was smashed this morning. And the reward is Balanced Scales, which balances equal weights, says the description. So this, again, there are many different directions that this could go. It might imply a new balance patch, which tries to balance out either weapons or different skill builds, or, trying to remove the skills that most people think are relatively useless, which might be kind of nice, because there are some skills that nobody really goes for or cares about. For example, there are some in the Enforcer tree. There's one that's, I believe it's the Ace for Shotgun CQB. Not 100% on this. I might look it up later and put in an annotation about this if I'm wrong later. But if I'm not wrong, then I won't do anything. But I believe it's the Ace for Shotgun CQB that increases the speed to steel sight for your shotguns, which is practically useless because, judging from my experience, and again, this is, I suppose, anecdotal evidence, because I can't say for sure that other people use them this way, but from what I understand, most people use shotguns the same way that I do, where you put a laser sight on them, and for the most part, you just guide yourself via laser sight. And I still do put a scope and use the scope on my shotguns, but it's pretty rare, and the situations where I would use my scope, I'm not thinking, man, I wish my snap to steel sight was faster on my shotguns. So, might be, balancing some of those types of skills out where everybody's like, no, I'm skipping that skill, it's literally useless. It's another thing that popped in my head. They might be trying to balance things for an entirely new difficulty above Death Wish, because I can't handle Death Wish on a lot of maps. I'm not the greatest at this game, but I do know a couple of people who think that Death Wish is absolutely super easy, and they're like, yeah, it's not even a challenge anymore, whatever. So maybe they're going to put in something, something like a new difficulty, or something similar to like a pro job, sort of an addition to difficulty above any other difficulty. So something like that, perhaps. Or perhaps I was thinking it might be literal and refers to actually like weighing something. So might be some sort of new heisting item or new heist based around an item that's incredibly heavy. Or this one actually, when it occurred to me, it made me smile because I would actually really enjoy this. Something like depleted uranium bullets. Because they added the ability to swap out ammo in the gauge shotgun pack, so we know that they have that infrastructure in there already, so they might be adding in something like depleted uranium bullets that have a base chance to pierce armor, say, something like that. And that would be really, really neat, truthfully, if they're going towards something like that. So, anyhow, there's a few general trends that I've been noticing. People seem to be keeping up with these challenges. As a community, we're completing them pretty quickly, honestly, because each set of 4 challenges is released every 2 days. So the challenges are coming out pretty quickly, hard and fast. So we've been keeping up remarkably well, considering. Again, earlier this morning for me, we were at 9 out of 12, and now we're at 9 out of 16, technically. So we're staying above the halfway point, if absolutely nothing else. And with some of, like I said earlier, with some of these new challenges, they're not going to last all that long. I cannot see them. I cannot see some of these lasting longer than a couple of days, if that. So I think that if we keep going at this pace, then we're going to get every single unlock, unless Overkill throws a curveball at us, which is just, yes! Awesome! Yes! Coming together as a community and doing something fun with the developer. I think that's super great and awesome. It generates hype for the developer, it gives more content to the people who like the game. It's all of the content for Road to CRIMEFEST is going to be released for free, so you don't even have to purchase DLC for it. I mean, it's cool. I like it. And I like where I see it going in the future. Anyhow, I think that's about it. So I will end this episode here. Thank you all for watching. As always, I appreciate it. This has been me, Ampamine, coming at you with some more Payday 2 and the Road to CRIMEFEST news. And I will catch all of you on the flip side.